Hi, good afternoon. Corrie Thorne, spiritual healer, life coach, psychic medium, coming in to do the channel message for September. For the one sign that I guess forgot, but not really. I just feel like there was no message, obviously, until today. This is September the 9th. We are right in the beginning of the news of the retrograde. It is Mars in Aries. Please remember, this is not a personal reading. This is a general message, a general for the collective of those born under the sign of Capricorn, or you have it in your sign somehow that you are tied and linked to that, or if you're cross watching and the message resonates with you, then you're in the right spot today and this message is for you. I was very unsure for Capricorn, and I feel like there's a lot of uncertainty in a lot of areas. There's a lot of that Capricorn. I feel like you've been digging your feet. I'm like stomping my feet. I feel like you've been digging your feet into some of the stubbornness or some of the unwillingness to bend and move to the movements that is happening within the universal energy. And there's a lot of universal shifts and change that are happening outside the one dimension. It's like not just in the what we see with our eyes or hear like in media and stuff, the things that are happening outside of there, the things that are like out in the fifth dimension is where it's going. It's like what is being aligned to us as a human race or as a collective of energy. And I just feel like it's like it's like sometimes we're afraid to kind of jump into a new reality for ourselves, and there's a lot of old stories. And I feel like for Capricorn, you are right now, and this is the energy that comes up and it fools us and it's tricking us. And it's like believing that all the past that's coming up and all this old energy of hanging on to old stories, and you keep repeating the old stories, or somebody else keeps repeating them to you, and you're tied to them in some way, and you're believing it to be true. And so also there's gossip that you're hearing, or oh, they said this or they said that, and it's like you're believing a lot of that to be true, and it's not truth. And I always say this, I go to the horse's mouth. If someone says, oh, you said this about me, or like, come to me, ask me directly, because when our words are repeated through somebody else's mouth, it's never repeated how it actually came from us. And so we create our versions, and other people create versions of those stories. And so when it's told, you'll hear dogs growling. And so when it's told, it's being told from a place that wherever the energy is upon the person that it's coming from, or whatever their feelings are towards other people, is how you're hearing it. This is a time for you to go so deep, so connected to your heart centered into you, and say, what is it that holds me to the past? What is that anger, that passive aggressive anger, or that trigger that keeps triggering me to believe some of these stories that I keep telling myself, or I keep hearing in my head? And so remember, if it's coming from our head, chances are that a lot of it is not truth, or it's not alive anymore, but we keep giving that life. So Capricorn, I have a real sense of this Tower moment coming for you, and these cards came flying over, so I'm leaving them out. And please remember, as much as I love my tarot, that not everything resonates to the meaning of the tarot cards when I'm working with them. It is what is intuitively what is channeling through. So I channel these messages, and I'm just laying out the cards and see where it aligns to where I am. So I have a Tower and I have a Death, and it begins with a Tower and it begins with a Death, or it ends with a Death. Begins with a Tower. And so the Tower moments when we see this is like, oh God, what's going to happen? No, it's already happened. All of your Tower moments had already happened. All the dismantling has already taken place. And it just like, and it's like, but you're hung up in the story. There's like some sort of, or there was, and now it's being time to move past being hung up in the past, or hung up in a story. And I feel as if it's like this whole essence that I'm going to go with what comes up is the blue. And I feel like sometimes when you speak, and there's a blue here in the sword, in the Ace of Swords as well. And I feel like sometimes when you're speaking, it's like you're lashing out these angry words and thoughts, and it's like almost like a defensive, or being very easily offended about these stories that are not really true. And it's like you've drawn your sword so many times to go to battle, go to war, and then you don't, and something stops you. And what is stopping you, and it's like what's stopping you from going there, is because this is actually your new beginning time. It is like a fresh new start. So I don't want you doing something that resonates you back into an old energy, returning to kind of fight for yourself that way, or to get into that argument. And I feel like somebody's always egging some of these Capricorns on. You surround yourself sometimes in misery. Misery loves company. And so because of this Tower moment, I feel like there's some misery moments that are still here. And you got two aces, which are really about that beginning. So it's like you have the beginning of using your voice in a voice of love and a voice of like inspiration instead of going to battle all the time. But you also have the ace in the material world. And I feel like for me, it's just that, you have all of these opportunities of happiness and joy. And for some of you, I feel like there's a sense that the past may be coming back in, and, a lot of regrets around old relationships, around old things, but they're all ended for a reason. And wherever that new relationship is, or wherever that building new relationships with the people in our lives, it's like that's coming up. And we have the Queen of Swords, and she's in reverse from in how she came out. And I really want to say that the Queen of Swords, when she comes in her full power and her light, it's like nothing stops her. She's on full force, full direction, and she's like believing in herself and confident, or believing in, it's really time for you to start flipping that energy back in, because everything that keeps you in a lower vibrating or negative is also making you ill and sick. And I feel like for some of you, it's this like clenching your jaw, like you've been like clenching and holding tight, it's like fist, like it's just like this angst, and it's been causing a lot of physical pain. And that fear of moving forward, I feel like for a lot of Capricorn, you have not moved forward. You've not moved beyond, you have not moved past. And it's like there's a lot of secrety energy here, and you never ever did tell these secrets. You never spoke of your truth. And this has been like that ongoing thing within your life that you're hiding something. You think something is hiding, but it's really not. It's like the truth might be hiding, but your body is showing every sign of hiding something. And it's like you've been hiding your light, you've been hiding your truth. And the death is like you're not letting something die. It is in reverse. It's like, so it's like, but it also could mean like you trying to hang on to somebody, or trying to hang on to the past. I do have for Capricorn the leaving, and something is leaving, or somebody like in your life who may be ill, maybe not very well. I do feel like there is definitely, I have some sadness coming up, and I have some faded experience or moments where we have to go through these moments. Like it's like the end of like a whole family relationship or a whole dynamic. It's like, or the change. So like somebody, like a grandparent, somebody who would have been like in charge of the family, who would have been the hierarchy of the family. I just feel like there's like that passing on or passing over, and they may already be on the other side, but everyone is still kind of having the arguments and the fight, or it's over and ended, and everybody is holding on to it. And so this is the 10 of Wands that come out, and this is in the fire, this is Mercury, right? And it's like you got to be done carrying the burdens, you got to be done carrying the weight of the story, and just allowing that new beginning. And so behind here we have these beautiful shadows of these beautiful moose, I want to call them, these beautiful moose. To me, they're moose. And so these beautiful animals and their antlers, and there's a masculine and a feminine. And it's like when we're constantly coming into that, being like, are we viewing life? Are we viewing life from charging at it, or are we going to step back and allow us to be able to view it in a new way and let life unfold, and know that we don't always have to be defending, we don't always have to be on defensive, and we don't have to be so offended by everything. And there's just like, if everything is offending you, that's you judging yourself, and that's you still holding on to a lot of your own actions and responses and behaviors from the past that is not really grounding and rooting you in moving forward. There is a lot of endings here, Capricorn. I see this coming through this energy. September is just a challenging month in so many ways. I feel like physical, emotional, everything, but you're being detoxed, and there's a lot of detoxing, and there's a lot of endings, and it's not so pretty when there's endings, and there's some truth that needs to come out. I just feel like in the Capricorn energy that if you just spoke your truth, it might feel like it might be hurtful in the moment, but it brings a lot of clarity, a lot of healing, and a lot of energy that will really save you, and it brings you into full peace. And then I have the Two of Cups, and I love the Two of Cups. And that validates the rest of the message that I have. And so I'm going to lay that down for a moment, because I want to lay this down, and I want to like pull it back. And it's like, I want to like stop trying to stop the inevitable from happening. Stop trying to control. Stop trying to be in control. Stop trying to tell other people how to be in control. Stop trying to justify things. And it's like, and I'm like, I just feel like it's like when you hold your hand up like this, and it's like you're trying to stop something, in the middle of it, there's also a light. And there's this light of stop trying to not let your light shine. Stop trying to stop trying to live in the past. And something just took me to the saying, and this is, I've kept this with me for a long time. This is Louise Hay, and I love Louise. And she was a big mentor for me, even though I never got to meet her. And the night before she passed, she came to me in a dream. And I see myself standing with Reed Tracy, and we were standing by a hay house sign. And it was like, and she was telling me, I wish I had gotten to actually meet you. And so sometimes those dreams that we have, you have to hold on to your dreams and know that they come true the way that they're meant to come through. But this is the card that just came out, and this is sacral healing for Capricorns. This reading this month is all about the emotions and how our feelings and emotions can lie to us, but it brings about a body feeling in a way that's trying to tell us the truth. So my willingness to forgive begins my healing process. I allow the love from my own heart to wash through me, cleansing and healing every part of my body. I know that I am worthy of healing. And it also has a little blue flower. So this, and it has the green thread flowing through. And so this is sacral. So our family stories, our relationship stories, our stories with our children. And then we also have the thread of green, which is threading through this beautiful green, Raphael, Jesus healing, and also be out so that we can open up to be able to have healthy voices of communication, healthy relationships, to be able to communicate a voice that's not projecting fear and anger. Because when we lash out, it's not that we're trying to cause hurt or harm, it's that the inner child that's still hurt is still being tying everybody, whether it's feminine or masculine, to a version of somebody from our past that carries that story. That is, so everyone else in our life right now is still responsible for the things that have happened to us in our past. And not everybody can be responsible for your past or hold that or be accountable for that healing for us. And so this relationship comes in, and it's the masculine, the feminine, and it's the alignment with you is what I'm bringing up, is that when we begin to heal, is that we accept all aspects of ourselves. And that's our shadow self. And, sometimes those parts of us protected us in some really unhealthy situations. But our truth is the life that we're living now is we don't need to be on guard all the time. And here's the Knight of Wands. And that nobody's coming in to save you. You have to be that savior. But that fire sign where we are right now in that fire energy of Aries and Mars can also be a stinky time. And there just feels like there's some it makes it feel as if there's a lot of oh God, why is everything going wrong right now? Everything, I've done everything to go right, and why is everything going wrong? Why does it feel like this? And it's because it's trying to move you past. It has to burn away the last of the details so that the good, the clearing, the light can come in. And I just feel like the only thing that's trapping you right now is your own self. And we believe we're trapped, or if we believe we're stuck, or if we believe we're unhealthy, or we believe the world to be an awful place, then that's what it becomes. It's like our thoughts align us to everything that it draws in, and it draws in those thoughts for us, and our thoughts are powerful. Be willing to change your thoughts. Be willing to change your view, and be willing to look at things a little bit differently. And there is this amazing, beautiful grounding energy that's coming in. But we are in Virgo season, but we also have a little bit of like that remnants of that came with the full moon, which was a Pisces full moon. Moon was in Pisces. That was very emotional, and it's so emotional doesn't always mean bad. It also means love. And so how are we going to power ourselves up? It's like making peace and seeing the relationships that were in your past and seeing that the love that was there, but also bringing peace into all relationships that are coming forth in your life, or the relationship with you. And as we get ready for that new moon, is that we are setting an intention of healing and setting an intention that this material world is not defining us, and that but we are to be we want to be healthy in the material world, be healthy in our world. And I just feel like there's just such a peaceful, loving, calm energy that's coming in at the end of this for you. And I don't know if it will be September or if it'll be into October, but I just feel like finally, like things will calm down. I think you got to get all the way to Halloween, but the world will have some chaos. The world will have chaos, but that doesn't mean that that's your chaos. You have to let people's lives, you got to let people do their own thing. And you have to put your focus into you and allow your life to unfold. Much love to you. Have a wonderful rest of September. And thank you for bearing with me to wait for this message. So much love, Capricorn. See you all. Bye-bye.